It might be hard to see, but there's a lot going on there. Oh, look at that beautiful sky. It's orange everywhere out here this morning. There's so much going on, I just left my car outside. Probably not smart, but whoever said I was smart. Let's take a look at this, see what we got. Nice, nice, nice. St. Patrick's Day today, but you'll be watching this a week later, so that's why I'm wearing green. So, being probably 60% Irish, gotta wear green. Otherwise I get fired from the group, apparently. Fast and Furious, bro. Thanks for tuning in. I'm glad you're here. We're not here for the weather. We're not here for holidays. We're here to spend a day in the shop, getting things done, fixing some cars, getting people on the road, taking care of our families. Everybody wins, right? We're gonna try to learn something, me and you, and we're gonna try to have some fun. We're gonna try. Been a couple of stressful weeks in a row, doing a bunch of engines back to back. Not a lot of fun. A couple of little frustrating jobs peppered in just to make it even more interesting. But I'm rowing, keeping a smile on my face, and we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna make it work. Let's have some fun. Stay tuned. Maybe I'm just really picky. I don't know. Maybe I have too much of an attention to detail. Some people might say I'm uptight. That's okay, but we had a perfectly good monitor, and for some reason they decided they wanted a bigger one. So we gained about 2 inches, 3 inches on the monitor, and now instead of being mounted nicely and cleanly on a bracket, it's piled up on 4x4s and 2x4s. So not only do we lose the spacers for the lifts, but it's not up to me. It's not up to me. They're all going to be here soon. We're going to start working any minute now. Hang tight. All right. Where we left off yesterday, I was buttoning up this engine, getting ready to drop it in. I'm going to clean this subframe off a little. A lot of oil from the other engine was puking oil everywhere. Well, a little clean will be less messy to work on for myself, and it'll look nicer for the customer too if they happen to look under it. This thing's all ready. You saw in the last video I put the alternator on, and then I remembered it was something I said I wanted to leave off, just so it'll clear this corner a little better going back in. So that's where we're at. We're going to start dropping this thing in now. Let's do it. Don't fight it. It's going to happen. Don't fight it. One thing I do like about this cylinder is it will let you let it down slowly. Just keep it in a certain position. There's stuff going on in the back. I gotta move that. That's why the alternator was easier off. I have this lift set so it will just slowly lift it down without me being at the controls. Be patient, it'll go. They do want you to drop the whole subframe, engine, transmission, everything out of this for 10.8 hours. Try to keep this AC hose out of the way. There you go. Gotta find my bell housing. Now we are close. Gotta go down about another inch. See how that looks. A little bit more. It's definitely a process. You gotta be patient. That dowel's lined up. The motor's gotta be turned. The motor's gotta be turned back a little bit. Let me reposition the chain. I got the front mount on loosely. The bolt's in just a few threads so the front of the motor won't drop anymore. And I'm going to use the floor jack to get this kind of lined up. I'm going to take some more slack in the chain so I can get one link further forward. Kind of letting the motor roll on its own. There it goes. My cylinder dried out and it wouldn't lower on its own because it didn't have the weight of the engine on it. So I'm going to position this one link, and that should help turn it. What the heck was that? Oh, that was a bad accident. That was bad. Did you hear that boom? Someone turned in front of someone. Someone turned, it looked like from the right lane. It turned across the coming left lane, and the left lane car slammed them. That was that crash you heard. Now they're getting out of the car down there behind that semi. That's not good. Now the motor's a little rolled better, so I should be able to lower it down. Yes, a little smidgy. There it is. A little more. If I can get a bolt started, that'll be good. I'm not going to use the bolt to pull it in, obviously, but I'll use it to keep it in a line, and then I'll be able to line up a bolt at a time until this thing's real happy and it finds itself a home. Definitely requires a lot of patience. And where the mistake comes in is grabbing a power tool and trying to pull the motor into place, but that's about 3 turns, 4 turns. Now if I can get another bolt lined up, matter of fact, that might even do it. There it goes. Just gotta rock it. Gotta rock it, don't stop. Pop in and rock it all around the clock. Something like that. You guys know the lyrics, you can correct me, that's alright. There's no weight on it already. Okay. There it goes. Now let the jack down. Alright. I think we're in pretty good shape. It's like this a little bit. So I'm actually going to lift this car up and try to work it from the bottom a little bit, get it to pop down, relax, and get some more bell housing bolts in it. Katie and Bill are over there closer. They want to see what's up. I wouldn't be surprised if that person in that dark colored car is hurt, because that white car was going about 40 and just hit him without ever touching the brakes. Never heard a screech or nothing, just pow! So I think they decided to get gas over at the racetrack over there and just turned in front of the white car. I only caught the end of it after the pow, but this town is getting so bad. The driving's getting worse and worse and worse and worse. You guys hear the sirens and stuff all day. I actually edit a lot of them out because I don't want to have the 6 fire trucks going by and ambulances all day. Kind of sad. I'm going to get this up and look at the bell housing bolt, see what we can get done from the bottom. Ta-da! That's easy. That was so easy. I feel kind of bad making him pay me for this. That's not really true at all. Finish buttoning some of these bolts in, and I'm starting to get the new car fragrance. Now this time I did go through the trouble of getting the slotted hole lined up, so I won't have to go around twice. The slotted one centers the converter and flywheel holes, so the other 2 holes will be lined up, right? A couple guys have said, why don't you use that? I don't know, I just got a habit of not doing it, but I did it this time. You know, you gotta be flexible. Just like that. Clean up the crank pulley. Make sure there's some clean engine oil on it. Now you gotta line up the oil pump and the keyway, which the keyway should be straight across. Boom. It's easy. Got a big yellow sticker. Warning. Don't force the crank pulley on, dummy. Hey, jackass. Don't be a jackass. Line everything up before you tighten the bolts, dummy. There must be a lot of stupid mechanics, I'm guessing, judging by that yellow sticker. But if you're patient, you don't even have to know what you're doing. Just be patient. You'll figure it out. Don't force. Now this bolt gets quite a bit tight. The spec's 111 foot-pounds, plus 70 degrees. I think I have to double check, but I'm just putting it on for now so I can do the flywheel bolts. I'll come back and torque it. You only want to turn the crank clockwise because the way the tensioner works, if you turn it clockwise, it keeps the slack on the tensioner side. If you turn it counterclockwise, it could push the tensioner back and make the chain jump. So that's why they tell you clockwise. People are stopping on the wrong side of the road to look and making the traffic horrendous on the side the accident isn't even on. They're like, oh, I think I see a head in the road. I'm gonna put that on my Instagram.
Yeah, see how many likes I get on this.
Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, that's the last one. Don't drop it. Whatever you do. Because that will be bad. There's a little shield in here, like a guard for the flywheel, I guess. I just left the bolts in it so I remember where the bolts went and where the shield went. It's easy. It's really tempting to put the starter in now, but I gotta drop the wiring harness down in here first. Get some of them sensors hooked up. It'll be a little easier with the starter out. I did put my axle bracket in because it's easier to do that with the cat out. But I'll put the cat in before I put that inner axle stub shaft in, or half shaft in. Intermediate shaft, whatever you like to call it. I made a short about the chrome dripping off the engine. We'll see if how many people flip out about it. Some people love them, some people get mad.
Sheet over. I didn't see that.
I don't know.
Those two top bolts are in. Get that ground on there. I can start doing the wiring. Now I got my ground buttoned up. I just got to get this hose on here. It's a little bit of fun. I use my cable clamp tool from Mayu. Works pretty good. I like that it locks open, so I don't have to worry about squeezing the handle of the tool while I'm putting the hose on. Try to put the clamp on with it. It's the least amount of expansion. If you try to slip the clamp over the hose, then you got to open it way further. Some of you guys, if you're not familiar with this tool, super handy little tool. I don't see a part number on it though, but they're readily available. May use I believe they're the original maker, but of course there's a bunch of knockoffs of them too. But great tool. I don't use it a lot, but stuff like that where you can't really fit something down there, it's great. This front wiring harness drops down next to the dipstick tube. And the back wiring harness, I'm going to leave this out of my way till I put that manifold on. I might do that next once I give this a once over and see what else I can connect. I got my cam sensors connected. My little brake booster hose. I got to move the clamp on that still. Let's not get sidetracked, get all crazy. Squirrel! Not as complicated as it looks. Don't try this at home. No, actually, go ahead, you can do it. A little bit of patience, that's all. I'm gonna have to get a different tool too, because it doesn't seem to want to really. These little squeeze clamps are a pain. But they don't make a great tool for them, so you just do what you got to do to get it to wiggle on there while you're holding the camera with your good hand that you need to move the clamp. Let's show you guys what I'm talking about. Now if I put you guys on the crotch cam, I can put this finger and this finger in here at the same time. It's quite a bit easier that way with two fingers, two hands, two limbs of some sort. Getting a bit ahead of myself with the dinosaur blood. Oh, it doesn't fit in the hole. That's terrible. but they poured it for me already, so I don't want it sitting in an open container too long. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the motor. Not going to hurt anything. It'll be out of the way. Get every last drop. Dinosaurs are going to donate blood. You don't want to waste it. Alright, I feel pretty good about that. Speaking of donating blood, my brother-in-law has got a little problem going on where he has to get blood transfusions every once in a while. And he told me that, you know, when you donate blood, they give you like free movie tickets or something. He said that he's had to have 36 units of blood in the past year and a half. And it's $12,000 for 2 units. So $6,000 a unit. And they give you movie tickets. So I thought that was pretty interesting intel. Anyhow, let's continue with our job. Focus. Focus! Alright, you. Don't be giving me a hard time, will you? I'm going to say, compared to the Escape, it's a piece of cake. It's way easier. You know, people think I hate Ford. I don't hate them. They're just harder to work on. It seems like everything you do on them is just a little bit harder than on a GM or a Chrysler. I don't know why, but maybe it's my biases. But it seems like it's harder to me to work on most Fords. Just like this engine, I pulled it out the top, even though they recommend doing it the same way. I pulled it out the top. I didn't have to do it from the bottom. Like at that Ford, there was no way that was coming out the top. So after I get this manifold tightened up, we'll be moving on to the next thing. And we'll bring you guys back when this is in the air and we're hooking up some wiring from underneath. A few of these bolts you gotta get from the bottom, at least I do. It's easier, it seems to me, from the bottom, but I do need an extension for that one. But most of them from the top. You can get them all from the top if you don't have a lift, but since I have a lift, these 3 are a little easier from the bottom. Otherwise, from the top, you got to get exactly the right length extension so that you can get it on the nuts from above and turn your ratchet or whatever you got from the top. So, I'm gonna find my little notch so I know which way to face the connector initially or about. Got a ground I gotta hook up. I think it goes under the dipstick right there. What else we got in here? We got compressor stuff. That's gonna all go forward. I believe I need to hook this ground up before I put the compressor up, and then this all goes after the compressor's up. Luckily these are all different. They won't plug in the wrong place. I gotta find my crank sensor connector. There you go. You hear a little click? Probably hard to hear, but some of these connectors are a little tough because you're fighting that weather pack. You gotta kind of pinch that weather pack rubber. Definitely want to feel that little click, especially in the crank sensor, because having to take the starter back out would be terrible news. Okay, I'm gonna hook this ground up so I don't get sidetracked. Then we'll put the starter and compressor up. So, gravity check. I did sand the paint off a little bit, just a little 60 grit sandpaper, sand the paint off, but the bolt threads are also cutting into the block too, so it's going to be grounded well. No problem, no concerns. Let me get a wrench on that. Anybody want to guess what wrench I'm going to use? Ta-da! Mountain wrench. Come on, you know you love it. I use these things every day now, and they're probably 4 or 5 years old. Something like that. I mean, you can't even buy them under the Mountain brand now. It's under a different brand, like KT Tools or KB Tools, or I forget the brand now, but same company, different name. Because of the Monster Energy problems, there's no more Mountain and Monster. I don't know what happened. Maybe Mountain Dew sued one company and Monster Energy the other. Compressor gets 1 stud and 2 bolts. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the bottom front. I think that's where it was. They all seem to be about the same length. but I want to say I remember taking out of the bottom front. What do you guys think? Am I crazy for worrying about it? Now I'm wondering if it was in the other location. Oh, that's alright. That's where it's going. I want to say I remember it there, so you guys tell me if I'm wrong. And I'll lose a little sleep wondering myself, but don't forget, gotta tighten that one. And now when you want to put your wires and you're like, where do they go? See, that clip goes on the AC tube. Oh, everything lays in place. Fast and furious, bro. That's what I'm talking about. Now we got a AC switch and the alternators where these go. Another thing you don't want to get too crazy with. Cause yourself a problem. Alright. Starter bolts. Where you at? This one is a little trickier. I'll use an extension and a short 15. I got these two brackets in here. Oh, my gravity check my nuts. I just one of them, the other one stayed put. Ah. Yeah, see what happens, wise guy? Start dropping all kinds of stuff. Start getting silly. Now I'm gonna leave these loose. I'm gonna put the bolt in this though. It's just a brace. And then after the converter's in, I can drop this down and you gotta leave this nut loose enough to clear this ear. This bracket even has a little marker on it. In case you, I kept them oriented the way they came off, but it says to engine because the angles are slightly different. So, but you gotta leave them loose to get the converter past them. It's the only tricky part. When I raise this converter in here, I'll be trying to slide this bracket out of my way.
Hey, Jimmy.
Yeah.
This gentleman.
Customer just came by to get some stuff out of the vehicle. You saw he uses this as a work truck, right, a work van or whatever. But anyway, he told me he's not going to pick it up till Tuesday, so it's not going to go in this week. So I was thinking I might have it done by lunchtime today. It's not going to matter though as far as my paycheck. That's all right. I'll be okay. I haven't spent all my money. I'm going to feed this cat up here. I can get to this rear flange to get one nut on top, but I can also use this to hold it up as well. So we'll do a little of both. Make sure the gasket's on top. Hard to see up there. Can you guys tell me if I'm in the right spot? There you go. If I get this out of my way, get a nut on top. Yeah, not so bad. Got my bracket, my heat shield in, my O2 in, battery box, 2 parts, little stud nut. The PCM, I think you saw I took it apart. PCM's on 2 tabs and slide it forward, put the bolt in there. I'm going to peel off my weather protected seal. Oh, I got this broke too, so I'm going to have to make something up for that. I think I'm going to do that now before I get sidetracked. Get this air box in and we'll go underneath and finish up the axle and stuff. I haven't done any of that yet. just kind of under the hood here now, so I'm doing under the hood. That's all. 2 10mm hold down. Out, watch your head. It's just a hood light, no big deal. Kind of breaking my starting them by hand rule because it's hard to get to down there. But don't try that if you're not a professional. I mean, you could try it, but it might not end well. That's what I'm saying. Okay, let's button up that right front suspensione. Looking kind of sad from here. Don't forget, we got a couple of electrical connectors. What's up, Paul?
Jimmy, do you want corned beef cabbage today?
No. There's a lock clip that holds it onto that motor too. And there's a little flat tab on the motor that you push that little clip on. Keep the wiring off the frame rail. That's all buttoned up, buttoned up. Alright. Now, onto the suspension. I actually forgot there was 2 more connectors down here. Don't worry. Oh, ow, ow. Stop. Stop at the sauce. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to end well. But I do remember laying the O2 sensor connector on the suspension arm so I wouldn't go past it. Gotta be a little tricky. Axial. I like to use the little inner cup as a hammer. Works great. Don't worry, it doesn't hurt anything. I don't know if I want to lift that whole suspension up myself or not. Oh look, I got a training jack right behind me. Now, it's like it's speaking to me. A training jack whisperer. See if I can pick up the suspension without binding up the knuckle. I want the knuckle to be moving so I can line my holes up. What you doing? Oh, there you go. I was past the cup. It couldn't go in because there was too much of an angle still. I got it though. It's okay. See, now could I have muscled that up? Yeah, probably. But why bother? Just go ahead and use a training jack since it was whispering to me. What's up, Jim? Two Ogadugas done. Alright, you. I should be able to see that. It's orange. I'll remember it. Ah, I can't believe you'd say that. It's not true. I'm not going to forget it. Never happened. Ugh. I haven't left a tool in a car in years. I used to do it when I was younger, and I was in a lot more of a rush. Even though I'm still a flat rate mechanic, I'm not quite in the rush I used to be. Sometimes I just say, well, it's not going to be a good week. I'm tired or whatever. But back in the day when I was young, the last thing I left in a car that I remember was a Makita flashlight. I thought Makita was the best ever. So I got a Makita flashlight. I was so proud of it on a tool truck. I remember it just being really expensive, and it was like 25 years ago. I think it was $89, I want to say. And I was just like, whoa, that thing is so cool. And then after I had it about 3 months, I left it under someone's car. Never saw it again. Sometimes that's how you learn the best lessons. The more expensive they are, the better you learn. Got a couple more bolts to do here. Where the heck does this go? You guys remember? Oh, I took the I took it off the brake hose up here so I have more room for suspension to hang. You guys remember that? Right here? Look at that thing. And a bolt goes here. Man, I'm gonna do this whole engine job without a single leftover bolt. I'm so proud. 13 and a 10. Got to face the letters out on the belt. The only time I wouldn't do it, since I'm reusing the old belt, if it wasn't that way before. But I took note of what direction it was facing. They say you want them to spin in the same direction because some stuff will happen. I don't know if that's true, but I'm not going to take a chance and find out. Because I don't want to put an engine in someone's car and have them come back on the tow truck with a broken belt. Because no matter what, that'll be my fault. That's why I'd rather change it, but we're not doing it. This is the one I told you there's no way I can get a tool on the tensioner, so I just push it up. Boom. It's not so hard. I would buy the $189 special tool or whatever. It's probably 20 bucks. I don't know. But I don't need it. It works fine with a pry bar. The tensioner's not so crazy like some cars. A little water shield, a couple of plastic clips. We'll fire this thing up, see how it runs. Oh, I gotta do coolant too. After that, we'll fire it up, see how it runs. Hey, get out of my way, dang it. You're gonna mess. It's awful windy today, it's not my fault. I only got a little over a gallon out of this thing too, which is... But I didn't drain the block. You guys saw the mess it made when I started unbolting stuff. Oopsie. Get this coolant filled and then we'll come back, we'll be firing this thing up. I had to do the tires in order to get the lift to clear enough to get in there. Reset the oil life 100%. I'm gonna have to do a crank relearn as well on this. But we'll start it up and see how it functions first. Turn this off and back on. Ta-da! Hey, it runs now. That's progress from what it had before. The ABS is on. I wonder why. Make sure I plugged everything in with that. It'll run a little weird till the injectors purge all the air. Let's go into ABS and see what we can see with that. It's very strange. I don't see it here. Traction control module, maybe the ABS. Transmission control module. See if there's any fault codes in that. I haven't looked. Nope. Okay, that's good. Engine smoothed out. It's running good. I'm going to take a quick peek at this ABS thing and make sure this is going to purge air out of the coolant stuff. And we should be good to go. Yeah, check it for leaks and stuff like that, of course, too. So we'll let it run a few minutes and we'll come back. I tried clearing these ABS codes. They come right back. I haven't unplugged anything from the ABS module. It's tucked under the fuse panel. No connectors off from that. It does communicate and all, too. So he must have had an ABS problem, I suppose. I got to check the transmission fluid, too, but I'll fire it back up, let it warm up. We got to do a crank relearn because it's a different engine. So it's looking for the tiniest fractional amounts of change in the crank sensor information. So you got to do a crank relearn whenever you change the sensor or an engine or a crankshaft, anything like that. So, but we got to warm it up a little more first. Rebuilt engine. I don't want to be going full throttle when it's not even fully warmed up. Coolant's good. I'll let it cool while I ate some lunch. Gonna fire this thing up, get it warm, and then we're gonna do it a quick relearn. I don't know if you guys have seen that yet, so we'll show it once this thing warms up a little bit. All right, it wasn't recording, sadly, but crankshaft position learn, and it tells you set the parking brake, etc. Accelerate to wide open throttle. The engine hits the rev limiter, it goes whoop, 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 and then it says learned, passed successfully. The camera wasn't recording when it happened, although I told it to, so I apologize about that. Crank position variation, learn. You'll hear it if it gets to about 4,000 RPM, 4,500, and it's still revving and it hasn't hit the rev limiter, then let off the gas and try it again. It works 99 out of 100 times, but it's possible for it to give you a hard time. Let's see here, DTCs, we got any? Nope. All right. I gotta check the transmission fluid too and look for leaks real quick, and if all that's good, we're gonna take this thing for a drive. I'm pretty happy where we're at right now, so let me move it over in the other rack, check the transmission fluid, and look around, see if I see any leaks. New car. Alright, dry as a bone. Dry as a bone. Cleaned it up pretty good. It's not spotless, but I got 90% of the oil and grease off of there. I'm going to clean that rack and pinion shield a little bit. Make sure I tighten this bolt too. I got to check it. Now it's tight. Should just about take care of the transmission. Just a kiss above the full line. A little splash of coolant. She gave a little bit, and then she let me know she wanted another little splash. It's like the Brembo Bonanza. Me and Joe are going to tag team Donnie's Range Rover and do front and rear brakes. So that's next. His OCD hasn't wanted to unlock the rear calipers. I said, I'll just take the motors off the rear calipers. Don't worry about it. I got my scanner. I'm going to unlock them. I'm like, oh, I'll just do 2 Allen bolts or 2 Torx bits or something. Don't worry about it. No, I'm gonna unlock them. Got 20 minutes in it so far. Come on, Joe. Uh-oh, what are we getting into here? Look at this thing. Joe's gonna do the front, I'm gonna do the back. Look at that craziness. What the heck? Gotta be a cooling vent. It comes up, sucks air up, and pushes it into the pads. So much for keeping your wheels clean. That's gonna blow the brake dust directly into the wheels. That's right. And the back ones are on the sensor, so that's why he wanted brakes. This is Donnie, the guy that bought the shop. It's his vehicle. So he's almost a year and a half now. Anyway, let's get the other wheel off too. Bumper to bumper traffic. They're all heading home for the day from wherever they went. This morning they were on the other side of the road, and now they're on this side of the road. 3 accidents today. There was an accident down by the McDonald's, an accident right across the street from us, and I saw an accident coming into the shop today. A cop was coming out of an intersection. We just got our green light, and he came in the intersection with sirens blaring, and the first car stopped, and the 2 cars behind him didn't. I might have that on my dash cam. I don't know. I haven't taken the time to look yet, but I should say I know it recorded it. I haven't had the time to download it yet. Try to get these brakes done. We'll see if we have time for that. Someone's already done brakes in it because this harness is out of the holder on both sides. That's all right. Won't really cause a problem, just bother me, that's all. Jeez Louise. Got some big connectors in there. It's a high amperage application.
Were you ever push pistons back?
I haven't got to that yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm doing the electrical stuff. These are going to be 13s. Ah, that's so mean.
Thought Primo was supposed to be good for us.
Brembo's a good brand. It's a popular brand. I don't know if it's anything really superior, but I know they'll tell you there is. But they all tell you that. It's not that it's tight, it's that it's Loctite. You guys know the deal. Do I even have to tell you anymore? Well, for the new viewers, I do. 50% of the cars you work on have, oh, are the brakes on? Yep, he parked it and left the brakes on. I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm going to have to take the brakes off now. Wouldn't let me release the parking brake, and it wouldn't let me retract it electrically. All that complaining, just for that. All of that complaining. That is a triple square. So I got to find the right triple square so I can release the piston myself. Okay, we had to do it electrically because the spline drive on the motor is so unusual that I don't have a single tool that will turn it. None of my Torx, my E-Torx, my Torx Plus. I have a 5-spline Torx, a 4-spline Torx. It's just like a regular spline, not like any particular bit. And it's about 8.5 millimeter. 9 millimeters too big, 8's too small. On the triple squares. Land Rover's got it figured out pretty good, man. They're like, we're gonna make some money. Because they're gonna have to buy our stuff. I should be able to push the Pistoni back now. Should just be a little bit of a fiasco, but not a lot of one. It's good, a little bit of a fiasco we can deal with. See how easy it is when you do it the right way? I told you not to take shortcuts, Jimmy. Let me get this air out of here. Look at that, boom. Alright, now it's a normal brake job, kind of as normal as a Land Rover, Range Rover can be, but of course it's a 14 millimeter 12 point, 15 millimeter 12 point. I don't know if my little 3/8 is going to do it. I might have to get a 1/2 inch. Yeah, that's what I figured. Alright, let's go get some more tools. We don't have enough tools yet. Oh, that's not going to happen. That thing is 250 foot-pounds. How about that? Adapt and overcome, that's what I'm saying. Gravity check. Alright, next one. Alright, the little baby 3/8 should do it now. What do you guys think? Think the 3/8 can hack it now? Gonna find out. Oh, that's nice. Whew, good workout. Good workout. Gotta take this off now. Got new rotors, so. Uh-oh. I'm gonna try to pop that rotor off with the old pry bar trick, but I'm gonna grease this bracket up first. Fast and furious, bro. I'll straighten that out, don't worry. I thought I was going to do this in about a half an hour. Got an hour into it so far. That's alright. It's the way things go. Some months. Thank you. I want to say I'm sad, but it's all right. Interesting. Doesn't look like it's seated. Let's see. About 170 foot-pounds, like it came off. Guess that's what they wanted. Already greased the brakes up. No sensors, so those will be Monday. One in the left front, one in the right rear, I believe. Some cars have all four wheels, some have one front and one rear.
It's one sensor forward, one sensor rear?
Yeah.
You find one?
No.
Special order from England. Should have my buddy Paul from England send over some Land Rover, Range Rover pots. That's on, but you know what too? This is the sensor. This is supposed to be, this is going to get unplugged from over there. I'm even going to put on there. You guys see this? Not in the bracket, that's how it was. I'm going to put it in this time though, because that's how I roll. I'm going to wait on this sensor till Monday, go do the other side. Dreadlock. These calipers are like, they only weigh like a pound.
Yeah, no. The rotors weigh like 10 pounds.
All aluminum.
20 pounds. These small ones are like stupid heavy.
I guess they figured the weight would even out if the rotors are real heavy. They had to make the calipers not weigh anything. But the caliper, all that squeezing force, the aluminum must be okay, I guess. The rotor's heavy duty to take the abuse. Caliper, you don't need to worry about it. Okay? No. Hardware holds these pads tight. There you go. Gear wrench for the win. They're not really rusty at all, just a little tiniest little bit of surface rust. You can't even feel it, you can see it. So, but go ahead a little bit. Let's try this. I don't like to show all my tricks, but easy. No extra charge for the show. It's all included. At least in this billing cycle. That's not, none of that's really true. I don't need to hit it a second time at the gun, since I'm going to be putting my wrench on it anyway. Factory recommended 278 foot-pounds. Where's my pads at? You guys hide them on me? Oh, there. Never mind. Gravity check the brake pad. It's gonna go through a lot worse than that. They told me this rear brake job on this pays 2 hours for Donnie's truck. So that means I got 2 hours today. But it won't be done because we don't have the sensors. You know what? You gotta enjoy it. You gotta laugh and enjoy the ride. That's all. Did you guys see I lubricated the bracket and all? I got it ready to go. Quick, easy brake job. Nothing to it. Put my 17 on here. Ta-da! All we need now is a sensor for the right rear, and this brake job's done too. Wheels are heavy, the rotors are heavy.
Yeah, no. Figure to put the wheels on in case those fucking Chinese jacks blow out.
It's made right up the street from your Samsung phone.
Right up the street from where?
Right up the street from Samsung.
Yeah, they don't even make the iPhone.
Alright guys, that's going to bring the video to a close for today. It's been my pleasure having you here. I hope you got something from it. Pretty productive day. It might not have felt like it, but I got the engine all done. Runs good, no leaks, everything's perfect with that. He's got ABS problems, he got axle clicking, a couple other issues, but it runs now. It didn't run when it was towed in. I got the brakes done. We're just going to wait on a sensor. So I hope you'll tune in Monday for the next video, or maybe check out the project truck videos on Sundays. So I hope to see you guys in the next video. I hope you'll torque the like button or subscribe. Don't forget, you're awesome.